Hey everybody! Welcome back to Northernlion Plays Binding by AFTERBIRTH Plus. D100, it always leaves my brain in a bit of a tizzy. Ooh. Whoa! Oh my god, KTSG, CND9. Stats are okay, speed's a little low. HP, I'd like some red hearts, but apart from that, it's okay. The real weirdness here is that we have the Parasite, so that's a tier effect. And then we have, Hookworm, which is a tier effect. And then we have the Skipping Stone, Flat Rock, whatever it's called, which is a tier effect as well. So, very, very rarely do we have a run that starts like this, where it's just, like, we have no idea what the heck is going on, basically at all. I love it, because it provides a base of absurdity. Kind of like a base in a volcano. I never understood old James Bond movies. They'd put a base in a volcano. It just seems needlessly dangerous. What happens if it erupts in the middle of making your secret plan? It just seems like an unnecessarily risky place, like, of all the opportunities and places you could put. Okay, we really, really, really want to get a bomb. Then we can get blank card. If we replace poop with blank card, even without a card, I like where this run's going. Because again, it's got the extreme weirdness on the rate of fire. So I will, if I have to, and I can, on an HP level, I will open that chest. Feels like I'm walking on sunshine. Would have been helpful for that. Just play it cool here. You know what's up. You know I'm, like, in for the long haul because of the way that I slow played that. Most of the time I would just be like, yeah, whatever. But I don't want this run to go anywhere. Second bomb wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, there we go. And also, I'm going to take Petrified Poop, but I'm not going to take it forever. Because I actually like what we've got going on with Hookworm because of how strange it is. So we're going to get blank card. What a waste. But it's not so bad. We're hoping we get a key from our boss one way or the other. Because if we're able to get a key from the boss, we can go to the shop, buy a card perhaps. Maybe we could just get a card from the boss, cut out the middleman. That would be fine as well. Or a bomb to access this Tinted Rock. And after that point, I think we're at a pretty okay spot. But this hopefully will be like the most delicate this run ever gets. Please extinguish that fire. It's a real feast or famine kind of tier effect, because when we catch an enemy, like, right in the maelstrom, they get hit over and over and over. It's like lightning damage in Wizard of Legend, you know? You can get, like, a 200-hit combo without even knowing that it's happening. That's not really what I'm looking for, but okay. But if you know, they happen to slip in between the Brownian motion, it can cause a problem. That's right, I have a college degree. I know what Brownian motion is. Asked me to use it in a sentence? Well, I thought you'd never ask. The sewers exhibit Brownian motion. How's that? I'm not here to prove my intelligence to you. I've already done so on many occasions. Whether in the positive or in the negative, you know? Hey, hey. No crying. There's no crying in Isaac, okay? Well, I mean, actually, the whole game is crying, now that I think about it, but you don't have to make a noise when you do. Okay, things are getting a little spicy. You guys like spicy food? I really like spicy food. I can't explain it, because Kate does not really like spicy food. You gotta. I really want this one as well, but we're so close to. Kate doesn't really like spicy food, and sometimes, you know, I'll get an order from someplace that's just so spicy that I'll be sweating, and, you know, my eyes might water a little bit. It's not the same as crying, okay? But, like, my eyes will water a little bit, and she'll be like, why do you order it that hot? And I'll be like, because I like it. And she's like, it doesn't look like, it looks like you're in discomfort right now. And I'm like, I am. It's a weird, like, you know, cognitive dissonance. Spicy food is. Oh, don't even try me, buddy. I like spicy food. It can be too hot. I have had, oh, what a waste of time. I have had food so spicy, I found it unpleasant. But for the most part, I like it. I can't understand. I think it's that it's like a little eating mini game. Don't get me wrong. I don't need anything to make eating more exciting. It's one of my favorite things to do. And by the way, I know you're going to say eating's not a hobby. Of course it isn't. But it's just as much of a hobby as listening to music. I've seen your online profiles. I like watching movies, listening to music. Yeah, you're a human being. I like breathing air. Me too. You know, surely you got something more interesting to put in there. Hey, 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 hey! Oh. This one, you know what? We probably should have taken it because it would have been weird. This run is very strange, though. We're in a weird spot early on. But it's like a little food mini game. Because you're like, how hot can I handle it? Let's go. And then you gotta ration your water so you don't run out of, you know, cooling liquid, even though water is not the best thing for spicy food. It's all, you get the idea. I don't get an ego about it. Like, I have never been one of those guys that's like, hey, let's go to the, you know, the all-you-can-eat super spicy wing place and, you know, burn a hole through our small intestine to prove how masculine we are. That's not really me. Surprise, surprise. But a little spice, ooh, it's very nice. I want to keep the anecdote. That was such a waste. I really want to keep the anecdotes going, but at the same time, this run is, well, it's a little spicy in and of itself, isn't it? That was how we got on that anecdote in the first place. We went to, an Indian buffet. It wasn't just an Indian buffet. It was the largest Indian buffet in Canada for sure, but maybe North America, on Friday. And the food was delicious and actually much spicier than I would have expected. I know Indian food has a tendency to be spicy, of course, but I kind of thought, you know, I don't like buffets. I think there's like a certain amount of buffet economics that happen. My experience with buffets up to this point in my life is pretty simple. Give me a card, please. Well, the keys are nice, but we're still on like emergency power here. A buffet is where you go when you want to eat a lot of food, you want to eat a variety of food, and you don't necessarily care if the food is particularly good. That's been my experience with buffets, and I've had them in a lot of different areas. The one exception to that rule, you know, until recently, because this Indian buffet was pretty great, actually. Now, would I like to stand in line again for 45 minutes to get into it? Probably not. But we did go on Eid, so, you know, it's not a very common situation. We arrived at the Indian buffet, and they were like, special Eid event. And we're like, all right, we accidentally are here at like the end of the holy ceremony where you haven't really been able to probably eat as much as you would like when you would like to. So that it explains in a big way why it's so incredibly busy tonight. But hey, perfect way to celebrate the end of a holiday where you fast. But when I lived in Korea, I went to a buffet at a hotel. It was extremely good. It was $20, all you can eat, all you can drink, including adult beverages. But you had a time limit. And I thought that was a nice little, again, it's an eating mini game. Throws a little wrinkle into it. So now, not only is it like, so it's like 20 bucks is more expensive than you would pay for a meal in Korea most of the time. Most of my lunches were like $3.50. I ate out all the time because that's insanely cheap. You know, to get like a meal with a side at a restaurant. But anyway, long story short, I like that time limit. It does also mean, you know, you kind of have like a little ebb and flow. You start, you do the buffet math, get yourself the crab legs, the high value orders. Then you might take like a little break after a half hour or so. That's all right. You still got time. Nothing to worry about. Then they give you like a 15-minute warning and you're like, okay, we'll take another picture and also bring out some more crab. That was good. But otherwise, apart from that, you know, Sometimes we have to take what's called the BC ferry. It's the way that you... oh, God. It's one of two ways to go from Vancouver to Vancouver Island, which is where Victoria, a very nice city and also the capital of British Columbia, is. And there's a buffet on there, and it's always like... It's cutthroat. You know, as soon as you get on the BC ferry, it's like a lineup of octogenarians trying to get to this buffet. It's octogenarians and me. Because I'm like, you know, I'm paying 25 bucks to get to this buffet. I'm gonna have some decent food. It's not great, but it's okay. But moreover, it's privacy. The rest of the BC ferry is kids running around. The audacity of these parents to bring their kids with them on their family trip, right? So, you know, I want to eat lunch anyway. I'll pay a little bit of a premium to, like, have a table that's somewhat separate. Give me Chaos card. That's not Chaos, that's huge growth. Still pretty good, though. But this buffet, it broke all the rules, man. It was pretty good. I would go back again in the off-season when it's not so busy. I was just gonna say, now we're gonna get 2 cards, and the other card, I don't think it's as valuable, but it's not terrible here. We made big inroads on this floor, but still room to grow, without a doubt. The damage from huge growth is gonna help us, but it's only gonna help us once every 4 rooms, although we do have Sack-O-Sack, so, or Sackboy. Sack-O! Okay, I'll stop. We could also get a deal with the devil here. But yeah, I've never been so much the buffet type myself. If I know that it's on the table, like if we're talking in the morning and we're like, oh, there's a seafood buffet we could go to tonight, then I can plan my day around it. But I'm definitely not the kind of guy that's like, you know, you don't impulse go to a buffet, is what I'm trying to suggest, I guess. It's not the kind of thing where you're like, oh, I'm feeling a little peckish. Well, there's an all-you-can-eat buffet around the corner. Blank card death even is like sort of tempting right now. I don't know, I know people that really like buffets. I just find that if you find a good one, don't let it go. People say if you love something, let it go. Doesn't apply to buffets. Also, tell nobody about it, because they're extremely popular. Might be the most popular novelty restaurant. It's like, people always say that about Las Vegas. They're like, Las Vegas, you gotta go to the buffets. It's like the #1 thing about the city. I'm not even messing with you. It's probably like casinos, buffets, but they go hand in hand. When I grew up, a buffet was like, you know, they have like a roast beef and a ham, and you go up to it, and this dude's like, roast beef or ham? And you're like, ham. And he slices off some, and you're like, can I get a little more? And he's like, yeah. And then these mashed potatoes that have been under a heating lamp for like an hour. So they got a weird, like, they're basically cooked on top with like a weird little shell. And then there's gravy that you gotta like stick the ladle in and then go around a little bit because it's got a skin developed on the top of it. That's right, I'm talking about you, buffet delight. Sky rockets in flight. It's buffet delight. Ooh. It's buffet delight. Now, dude, I am eager, because this run is good right now. I am eager to take it to the next level, right? You know, we've done great on our JV soccer team. We're looking at senior year. We want to get a scholarship to a good soccer school. What's a good soccer school in America? I have no idea. I'm just going to say Northwestern School of Soccer. Best soccer colleges USA. Wake Forest, just give us University of Denver, Duke, Syracuse, Stanford, Colgate. I don't want to learn how to be a toothpaste. That's ridiculous. There's got to be a North University in here. That's where the kid from Home Improvement went. Next page. Providence, Southern Methodist, University of Connecticut, Boston College, Creighton University, Villanova. Come on, come on. Find a college in this ranking. Northwestern. Northwestern University. 24th. That's not that bad. That's not for a Canadian to come up with the top-ranked, top 25 soccer school in the United States of America. Come on, cut me some slack. That's where Brad from Home Improvement went. Thank you for that anecdote, Tim Allen. Nah. We didn't really improve that much on this floor, by the way, in case you were curious about how I felt about the way things were going. We definitely are still looking for... We need one more part of the Wombus, is what it comes down to. We don't have a complete cipher of Wombus right now, so amazing. And all I mean by that is, our tier effect is cool, but, you know, can you imagine how cool it would be if we had static tiers? Can you imagine how cool it would be if we had, I mean, any tier effect, like Holy Light would be pretty amazing right now. Anything that scales or synergizes with the number of tiers on screen. So I think static tiers would be like the #1. Well, not going to be breaking any speed records on this run. Let's put it that way. That's my bit on buffets. If you like it, click the like button. It's a big day on YouTube, as of the time of this recording. YouTube Premium is finally out in Canada. This is not an advertisement, even though I exist, I guess, pretty much like exclusively to sell advertisements. So, and on Twitch to entertain people and then be compensated monetarily, of course. And to, you know, take care of my family and also my cats, but... In my head, I was like, I don't need to say cats because they're part of my family, but I thought, you know, not everybody feels the same way. The devil. Where the heck is the item room? I don't know. I should know about this, but I know nothing about, like, YouTube Premium except YouTube Red came out, but it doesn't exist anymore. Now it's YouTube Premium, and it also exists in Canada. Do you get it for free with Google Play Music? Because I do pay... $10 a month for Google Play Music unlimited subscription. You know why I pay $10 a month for it? Because it's the greatest service on planet Earth. So if I get that for free as well, you know, YouTube Premium, the way I understand it, with YouTube Red as well, it's, of course, this is what we want right here, is basically like made for me. This is, by the way, not me saying you should necessarily get it. But when I saw what was proposed for YouTube Red, I was like, this is my dream come true. It's like, you pay $10, something like that. You don't see any ads anymore. Fairly realistic. I know there might be alternative means of not seeing any ads that might cost you the low price of free. But, you know, there's a guilt-free way of doing it. And then on top of that, your $10 gets distributed. I'm sure Google takes like 30% off the top because, you know, they invented it. Fair enough. Valve does it too. I'm not gonna hate. I'm just gonna innovate. And then they distribute it based on the watch time for the channels that you watch. And that's perfect for me, dude. Because, like, I'm not one of the biggest channels on YouTube, but I'm probably, like, up there in cumulative time wasted. Because the people who watch my content, they just hook themselves up to the fire hose to some extent, right? I'm out here making 40 to, yeah, let's say 25 to 50 minute long videos on the regular. And people, they don't always stick around till the end, but, you know, I hope you will. It's nice for me, because I don't make the kind of content that's like... And by the way, the 30-second highly curated edited videos are more work. I'm not saying like, oh, you only post 30 seconds of content a day? Well, you must be lazy. Like, well, I spend 16 hours a day editing, but sure, whatever you think. It's great for me personally, whether it's a meritocracy or otherwise. So yeah, definitely go out and buy that. Use code Northernlion. You get, I don't know. I just made that up, so don't really expect anything. There's too many enemies and they're all gonna drop battery charges, so I'm not at all worried about the damage that I'm taking, but it is still annoying to not be able to kill things very easily on this run. Please, more batteries. There's one. You know, that's enough, more or less. Oh, now we're talking. Nope, now we are not talking. That is my mistake. I thought we were talking. The truth of the matter is that the talking cannot be done here. There's no talking to be had. Oh. I have an anecdote. I've been shy to tell it because I think it reflects on me in a bad way and it makes me seem like a bad person. But I'm gonna tell it anyway, because you know I endeavor to better myself and appear more human in the eyes of society. So, I was biking today. There's a big bike path in Vancouver. It's like 9 kilometers, you know, 6 miles, something like that. It's called the Arbutus Greenway. It used to be. It's amazing, by the way. Like there's so many things wrong with Vancouver, but there's also some really cool stuff going on. Like, the city's beautiful, and it's so bike-friendly. It used to be a railroad track, and then they're like, well, the train doesn't run here anymore, so why don't we just pave over it and make, like, a separated bike path that can take you through the entire city, north to south. It's really cool. So I was on that, and, you know, I was pretending to not be as winded as I obviously was, and I had to stop at a stop sign, and then there was a woman riding a bicycle. And I know you're like, scandalous! A woman riding a bicycle? What is this, the 1820s? I'm mining this for humor, but this is just to, you know, slow down on getting to this anecdote. Did you know, by the way, that people, it's the same thing where whenever, you know, baby boomers make fun of millennials, they're always like, all this nature and you're out here texting! Think like cell phones are the root of all problems with society. They used to think that, well, they used to think that about books, you know, like 300 years ago. But somewhat more recently, you know, within like the past couple of 100 years, they thought that about bicycles. Are bicycles eroding the fabric of the nation's youth? I'm like, yeah, but no, it doesn't really. Are people getting too much exercise? There's nothing else to do in the 1800s, you know? Except, you know, survive. Listen to an Edison cylinder of the same song because it costs you $45,000 to buy it. Anyway, so we're both stopped at the stop sign. And there are some other cyclists there because it's a very popular route. But I start to go at the stop sign, and I hear behind me like a clatter. And then someone shout, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And the woman who was next to me at the stop sign had fallen over. I think what happened is that she was going east-west, and there was a large incline, and she was probably over-geared on her bike, so when she stepped down on it, it was like too much resistance, couldn't get any momentum, and fell over. It's not like somebody came over and was like, "Forget you!" Stuck a, you know, stick in her spokes or something like that. But I looked back, and I saw this lady on the ground, and then I looked forward, and I just biked away. She did, in my defense, she did say, "I'm fine." I heard her say, "I'm fine." And there was an adult on the scene who had already asked her, "Are you okay?" So I was like, you know what? The two roles of the victim and the savior are already fulfilled here. I'm trying to get king of the mountain. And I'm just gonna go. And I don't know, because here's the thing. You might think I'm a terrible person. I do want to point out, she said I'm okay. I didn't laugh at her. I didn't like look back and go, "Psh, amateur." You know, I just looked back and I was like, situation seems under control, and I drove away. If I were in her shoes and I was not hurt, I would just want the situation to be resolved as soon as possible. I thought we could get away with it, maybe. I wouldn't want people to dote on me, because I would be embarrassed, right? I would just be like, "I'm fine, thank you for asking," and then I would go. I wouldn't want people to stick around, but I don't know. I kind of felt like maybe I should have. I don't know. It was made a little bit more awkward, or maybe it was just in my head, because then, you know, there's a few other stop signs. It turns out she was going in the same direction I was going, and every time we were at a stop sign, I would look back and she'd be there, and I was like, is she waiting to, like, we get into, like, an isolated area, and she's gonna be like, "Why didn't you ask me if I was okay?" I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you. I gotta get home and get back in the Isaac mines. You don't understand. Maybe I think I'm being a little overly neurotic about the situation, but it's weird, because I go through this from time to time because I grew up in a small town, and in a small town is wild, right? Like you, in the downtown of the city that was adjacent to the small town where I grew up. Here's some perspective for you. If you saw someone walking down the street in the same direction as you, you waved and said, "Hello, how are you doing?" You know, everybody like talked to everybody. And in Vancouver, nobody talks to anybody. And I love it because I don't want to force small talk for no reason except to give the appearance of being polite. Like, without being callous, I don't really care how anybody else's day is going. Like, if I say, "How's it going?" as I pass someone on the street and they're like, "Really bad," I'm going to be like, "Well, that sucks, but I got to go to work." It's really just a pleasantry, you know? We're just putting on the appearance of being polite. Maybe other people would, you know, sit down and, you know, I'm gonna buy you a sandwich and sing you a song. Tell me about your problems. You know, I don't know if that actually happens, but you see what I'm saying here. So I don't know if it was like city callousness that was, you know what? Start here.
Hair throw.
Not good. Still terrible. Fair enough. See you later. And I feel the need to justify myself from time to time because I know what it's like. When I lived in a small town, and whenever I would go to a big city and I would be like smiling at people as I go through the crosswalk, I'd be like, "Everyone here looks so grumpy." They're not grumpy. It's just, you know, because of the amount of people, you can actually truly, as weird as it sounds, be in your own head, which is nice. Nobody talks to anybody. It's something I've talked about as a joke, but it's really true. Like, if somebody talks to you in downtown Vancouver, if you're ever here as like a tourist or something, if somebody talks to you, you don't have to respond. It's not considered impolite. You know, you could be a jerk if they were like, "Excuse me, where do you know how do I get to this like SkyTrain station?" You should respond, not just ghost them. But if they're like, "Excuse me, do you have a second?" You just go, "Sorry, bro," keep walking. That's the norm, and it's fantastic. I don't know where I'm going with this. It doesn't really matter that much. Please, God. Something that synergizes well with our tier effects. Ah! Alright, well, we'll play them one at a time. We have the Hierophant, so we can be a little over-aggressive here if we want to be. Yeah, we're getting close to spawn. Unless we already got there, I can't remember. What are you? Ah! Highly not what I needed right there. The guys. 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 The rune is the guys. That's right. I won the Grade 11 Music Award. You're witnessing a preternatural talent right now, believe it or not.
2 of clubs.
He's going fine. It's just taking forever. Oh my god, that should be spun. And then, you're very lucky. We can... Well, we should look and see if some of these cards are like the Chariot or something, but... Wheel of Fortune. 2 of diamonds. Ah, dude.
2
Yeah.
of diamonds.
Okay, Locust of Death. I'd still... I mean, I'd like to stick with the Hookworm, I think, just because of the weirdness of it, but...
The lovers.
Come on, looking for the lovers. Come on, double value lovers card. That's right, that's an AC/DC reference to a song that's not Thunderstruck. That's Money Talks. Being a little ridiculous right now. You know, it's within your purview to do so, but I'm just saying you're being kind of a jerk right now. I've been in here for like 4 minutes. Acid Baby is okay. Not great, but okay. So give me this Hookworm. One day we're going to make it work, man. Blank card, Hierophant, absolutely. Actually turned out to be a pretty good room. I find that my parents struggle with that when they come here. Because, I mean, I grew up with them, right? So we were in, like, the same town. We knew our neighbors, you know? What is that? That's Euthanasia, like the POD song. So my parents come to Vancouver, and They're like, when I get to the SkyTrain station, I'll just ask somebody for directions. And I'm like, you can do that. You're not going to be killed, but people will look at you like something's wrong. What you should do is go on your phone. You're gonna download something. I mean, I'll just give you the directions in a text. I do this for my parents because I'm a good son, you know? My parents are like, we want to go to Metrotown, the big mall tomorrow. How do we get there? And I'm like, okay, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna walk out of your hotel, you're gonna turn left, that's Burrard Station. At Burrard Station, you're gonna get on, you're gonna make sure that you go in an easterly direction on whatever the line is. I can't remember, it's probably the Expo line. And then you're gonna get off at Metrotown Station and you're gonna hear an announcement about how the elevator doesn't work. That's fine, that's the norm. It's never worked, as long as I've lived here. And then you're gonna be at the mall, and I'll send it to them in a text, and then they have that, and they can look at it while they're on the SkyTrain. Google Maps, I never stop, I hope I never stop as well, but I never stop being amazed at, like, how even in my relatively, you know, young life, the internet has changed things so much. I went on a date in high school. So that was 12, yeah, well, it was like almost 13 years ago now. And in order, I was driving, I went to MapQuest and printed out the directions for how to, like, first off, this is how I get to my date's house. Then I'm gonna pick her up, and then, you know, this is how I get to the movie theater, and then this is how I get home. So I, like, would look at a stoplight. Well, you know, because I was super cool, I actually memorized the directions, but I still had the paper there just in case, because who knows what happens. If you get lost, I might never make it home, right? Hey, stop that. So I don't know, I kind of like the sun here, but I'll tell you what, we'll do it like this. That was futuristic at the time. I was like, oh my god. I don't have to pull out the, like, road maps from my grandfather's glove compartment and chart a course for how to get to the movie theater. I always thought it was amazing. If you talk to somebody who's lived in a city for a long time, they don't even need the Google Maps. And I think that that's actually incredible. When people are like, oh yeah, you just take Robson Street until it, you know, they implicitly always know what compass direction it goes as well. The only way I know that is by looking at Google Maps. Now, I get in my car and I go, navigation. You know, does anyone else enunciate like that when they use voice control? I hate it, but I'm also driving, so I have no choice. Navigation. Navigation, please say a command. Find POI. That's a point of interest. In British Columbia, say the name of the POI. Donbo noodles. Multiple matches found. Please select. No, there's only one. It's on. Okay, so I've got that direction memorized, admittedly, but I'm so over voice control, though. Like, the fact that I don't even have to know where I'm going before I get into my car is incredible. But voice control is like, it's incredible, but also so terrible. And I know because we use it probably every day at this point. Kate uses it with Siri all the time. And it, you know, if I'm being frank, drives me insane. Because it's not good technology yet. It's not 100%, you know? There's, you go, hey Siri, and then you spend like a second being like, did it even hear me? And then you start talking, and then it goes, I hear you, and you're like halfway through the question you were asking in the first place, and it's just like, same thing we have like, you know, we have an Xbox One we use to watch Netflix when it chooses to work. We go like, Xbox on, turns on. Xbox, go to Netflix. Something went wrong. Please shut down the console, try again. If it doesn't work, hold the power button for 10 seconds. That's not good. We're not quite there. And don't even get me started. Again, the Ford navigation system. We were going to an address in Surrey, British Columbia. If you've ever been there, you know the anecdote probably that I'm about to say about the road names. If you've never been there, every road is named a number. Kind of like New York, but, you know, instead of it being like 48th Avenue, it could be like 235th Avenue. We were going to an apartment address, like a suite number, that had an address number and was also on a numbered street. So it was like, you know, Suite 22 110291 49 Street. And I thought my car was gonna explode from trying to, is like, you know, most of the time it's like, find me a coffee shop on Main Street. And it's like, here's a coffee shop on Main Street. This time it was like, which one of these is the street? Which one of these is the city? I don't even know what's happening. My company is going out of business. Could you just give me a place that you want to go? And I was like, I can't, because it opened relatively recently. So it doesn't exist in your database. I'm also, you know, it's mundane anecdotes over and over and over here apparently right now, but I don't understand. When I'm in a parking garage, my car gets GPS service, but my phone doesn't. Like, I can't send a text in a parking garage 3 levels down, but my car is just like, oh yeah, I'm communicating with a satellite right now. How did you get on those high-def satellites, and how do I get on the high-def satellites? I don't think, well, I mean, I guess you do have an enormous antenna. I answer my own question. You ever have that, like, this question has been in my head for, like, a year. Like, why does my car get better reception than my phone? And as I was talking about it for 2 seconds, it was like, you know, I rubber ducked the problem out and was like, ah, the enormous antenna. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, fair enough. So I'm hoping soy milk is the missing key that this run needs to really pop. Is it? I don't know. You a cop or something? We have covered the entire map. Man, this is like the ultimate betrayal. This is like a Shakespearean tragedy, right? Like, this guy spits out a gaper, and then the gaper just shoots him immediately. Some Titus Andronicus stuff there. Why do I keep referencing Titus Andronicus? Oh, hey, Proptosis. Why do I keep referencing Titus Andronicus? I've never read the play, but I really like the band. You know, A More Perfect Union. Classic jam. So Proptosis has ruined our run. Just another example of, like, you know, with all the new stuff in the game, we have no idea what the synergies are like, right? The damage seems insanely good, but the actual shots themselves are very weird. Extremely cursed. They go, like, really high up in the air and then come down and hit nothing. What happens if we dump Hookworm here? What happens then? Maybe we got salvaged? Looks exactly the same. I'm just gonna tank this straight up, like. You should be dead. With 1 rate of fire, 5 damage, and our weird pseudo synergies here, you should be dusted. I'm a little disappointed in this run. It never quite hit that level of, like, destructive capability that I know is within it, but either way, we had some fun on it. I can't say you had fun, but I hope you did. If you did, click the like button. Helps a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. And thanks for watching. I will see you next time.